Well, hello everyone. Today we've got another addition to my little fleet. This is a 1963 Cub Cadet Model 70 that I have given the nickname Pinkie for obvious reasons. So I bought this last Saturday at a local flea market. A guy had it for sale. He said that the story behind it is that it was painted up like this for someone's daughter to use as a pulling tractor, and it never worked out, and it sat for a while. I think he said 15 years it sat, and he got it running and used it for some stuff around his yard, but I guess he didn't need it. He was actually a really nice guy, and I of course ended up taking it home with me. The color's strange, that's for sure, but when you look past it, it's actually a pretty solid little machine. It wasn't originally pink, it turns out. If you look under the hood, you'll see that it was actually orange, but because it sat for 15 or so years, all of the exposed orange paint faded to this dull pink color. So that's where I'm at. This spot here where it's yellow as well as down here, and the white on the wheel there, that was all me. This isn't the plan for it, but for now, my plan is, because underneath all this paint is good original paint, and that's what you see being peeled off there. That's the original Cub Cadet yellow, and it's not gonna stay like that forever, but my plan temporarily is to try and remove all of the paint and re-expose the Cub Cadet yellow. I will probably leave the engine alone for now, because it won't look too bad, because the replacement engines, the factory replacement engines, were black. This isn't actually a factory replacement. You'll see that there's yellow paint under there. The black has come off. So it was originally yellow from the factory. But so everything is pretty solid. There's really not too much rust. The tower is in really good shape. There's a little bit down there. That's pretty normal. And then there's one small hole right there for some reason. No, wait, that's not it. It's right there. That hole, that was rust. It seems as though it stopped, though. I managed to stop it. Looks like it was rust from battery acid, because that's right behind where the battery was. And the hood is in pretty good shape, too. The only issue I see with it is one of the little circles, the little circular latch pieces, has worn through in that spot there, and also worn through on the bottom there. But those wouldn't be too difficult to patch up. And I think those are supposed to be rubber, honestly. And then get a proper rubber piece for that instead of electrical tape. The PTO is non-functional. You can see the lever just doesn't have anything attached to it. It was actually, when I bought it, it was bent down underneath the battery box here. So I bent it back and put it back into its proper place. They zip tied the PTO lever to the grill because they obviously don't have the linkage between the lever back there and the actual engagement here. I also see that the graphite button there is really, really worn out too. I'm probably going to end up removing that PTO and just do without it, since it obviously doesn't have a functional PTO in the first place. It's just sitting on there causing extra noise and wearing out those teeth on it. That could be a good PTO too. Be a nice spare, since I don't have a deck for it. The squishy steering wheel is not going to stay. It's just cheap foam wrapped with electrical tape. It's alright, but the electrical tape is crumbling and that makes it weird when you drive it. I only left it on there for recording this video so you could see what it was like when I bought it. After that, it's coming off and staying off. So, and all this paint, all the spot that I scraped off there, it removes pretty easily if you scrape it off, but the problem is that I don't have anything I can reliably use as a scraper, and I really don't want to use my fingernails as a scraper to scrape the entire thing. So online I see all sorts of people complaining about how the new regulated paint strippers that they sell aren't strong enough anymore to peel off the original Cub Cadet yellow paint. So my hope is that I can find one of those and use it purposefully to leave the original paint alone and strip off 2 layers of unoriginal paint, which is the orange/pink layer, and then down here you can see that there's actually a brighter yellow paint that was applied onto this before the pink/orange, neither of which look very good. I don't know if you can tell on the video, but this was, now you can see the lines there, this was brush painted, which I don't really like. Brushed on paint never really looks good on these. It's kind of if you do it right, it doesn't look too bad. This probably didn't look too bad when it was just freshly painted. Like the stuff that you see on the inside of the hood there really doesn't look all that bad. It's just got some rust spots on it from sitting, but because this is all faded, it really doesn't look that great. The seat is original as far as I can tell, and it's in really good shape actually. I guess they had issues with rusting out. I don't know, looks like there's a little bend or something there. I guess they had issues with these collecting water and then rusting out. That's probably why there's a hole in it there. I don't know if that hole's factory or not, but as far as I can tell, this has never been welded back together or anything. I guess there's some guys who can feel it, and they can tell if the seat rusted out and was welded back together. But as far as I can tell, that one's still an original seat, and it's still in pretty good shape. I do not have fenders for it. It would be cool to try and find a set of fenders for it. I think that would be nice. Just a set of fenders. They do make them. They're round shell fenders that cover from like here and down on the wheel. The only issue is they're not super common, and if I do find them, they're probably going to be expensive, but oh well. So, plans for this one. My thought is this would be a great machine to do a sort of a restoration on, because I like the original look of my other ones, but this one has already been painted over, and wouldn't hurt me so much to give it a nice fresh restoration. However, I'm not sure on doing yellow and white either. I'm kind of thinking doing a little bit of a restomod sort of thing. Just paint it a little differently. And the pink, the idea of the pink, it's not actually that bad. And you can do a really nice pink Cub Cadet. I've seen a few of them online. Obviously the hood and the wheels would not be gray and also pink. The hood will be white, the wheels will be white, the grill will be white. They look better like that. You can get away with a lot of colors just doing them with the white wheels and hood, and usually will look pretty good. Obviously there's limitations to that, but I've seen a lot of different variations that look good. Pink, blue, I guess you could say green, but that's an Oliver. That would be Oliver. White wheels and green body. Blue and pink especially. My thought on a nice color for this would be like a nice lavender purple sort of thing. I think that would look really nice. Just a light purple color with the white wheels and hood. I think it would look pretty nice. One more thing to note. This is an early one. 1963 was the first year that they made the 70 and 100, which this and the 100 are both virtually the same machine. The only difference is the engine. The 70 is a 7 horsepower Kohler K161, which is what this has, and the 100 is a Kohler K241 10 horsepower, which is what denotes that change in the model number. Other than that, they're basically exactly the same. This is where the basis of Cub Cadet names came from. The first digit or 2 digits of the model number denote the horsepower. So, like this is a 70, the 7 makes it 7 horsepower. The 107 up there, the 10 makes it 10 horsepower. The 147, the 14 makes it 14 horsepower. And it continues for all the different series. Same with the 105, 125, 128, 108, 1450, 1250, 1000, all the way up through the Quiet Line series, and then that all went out the window with the 82 series afterward. But so this one, being an early one, has the large battery box. You can see that there's a plastic insert that would have been off a car battery down below to hold the battery up so that it fits with that bracket. And the reason for that is because these were being built just before the introduction of true lawn and garden batteries that were smaller. So the original and the early 70s and 100s were built with large battery boxes that fit big car batteries. Just like you can see here, how much bigger that battery box is than the lawn and garden battery that's in it. These did have an optional creeper gear. I do not have it. I do not have any of my 3-gear drives now. Do not have a creeper gear, but that's okay. Oh, and you'll notice when I drive it, the clutch is really grabby, and it's possible that it might stall out when I first get going. And the reason for that is because, I'm not really sure I can show you, but if you remember, I said that this was supposed to be a pulling tractor. So what I've got under here is actually a thicker pulling clutch, I do believe. And one of the big things that lets me know this is the fact that instead of just 3 pinholes for the 3-pin driver that these have, this one has 6. And 3 of the holes aren't being used because the stock tractor only has a 3-pin driver on it. But pullers will put a 6-pin driver on them with a better connection when you're putting such a high load on it. The nice thing about that is if I wear out the pinholes on this one, which I will because there's no anti-rattle spring on it, so the clutch plate just rattles around in there, I can just rotate it a little bit and use the other 3 pinholes, and those will save me from having to buy a new clutch plate right away for it. Whee. So these, they start up like an actual tractor. You got your ignition, which on an older tractor would have been a button, but you could have a key switch, and you got a starter. It's gonna want to choke. It's a little cold-blooded. It does not like to throttle up so easily when it's cold, but it runs pretty well. It's a little difficult to shift in the fifth. It's a little bit difficult to shift in the third. But that's kind of normal. These don't have a synchronized transmission. Usually you just gotta do it while it's rolling a little bit. Yeah. Nothing wrong with it. It drives around pretty well. Like I said, it's a little bit finicky to get it going, but once you get it going, it'll go. Like I said, I'm thinking a nice fresh repaint on it. Something a little different. I think it would look pretty nice if I can do it right. But for now, I'm just going to try and get all that old paint off. So, next time you see it, it might just be back to its original yellow and white. We'll see. I got about a month. I'm in a time crunch to get this done, because if I can, the Wyoming County Fair is coming up very soon, and I would like to try and get this down there. Only if I can get the paint off it, because it'll make a better piece down there if the paint's off it. So, I guess that's about it. If you like these old Cub Cadets, be sure to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss future videos I do on them. There will be a follow-up on this one at some point, just whether I make it to the fair or not. I'm hoping to put together a video about the fair, because that's a fun adventure. We got all sorts of stuff that go on out there, saw mill and other wood cutting tools that we run throughout the week. This year it's looking like it might be a struggle, because I'm not sure how many people we're going to have. our director, superintendent for the antiques displays down there has changed on us for this year, so I'm not sure how it's gonna go. We're gonna find out. There's a chance I might not even be able to take a garden tractor down there. I might just have engines. So we'll have to see. I know at least one guy is coming, one of my older friends, I guess. I know at least he's coming, so yeah, stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you're interested and don't want to miss out, and I will see you all in the next video. Thank you for watching.